So, I'll be around for a while today, so hopefully get some stuff coming in. I've been doing a lot of letters, and next logical step is like numbers, but I want to take a break and try and do something just slightly different from those objects. Maybe something where it's just I did enjoy doing test stuff where I had movements that had little bubble trails, so I might just mess around with drawing some sort of abstract form and having that same sort of face loop thing, but having it not be specifically referential. Let me adjust this brightness a little bit. Maybe darker. I think I just need to be drawn with that Sharpie so that you get more contrast. I was hoping I could get away with pencil, but for sketching, yes, but not for illustrating these loose ideas. I like having motion blur where the trails were bubbles in some of these, and so I might do a more abstracted one that has more exaggerated motion, because I really like doing motion blur sort of things, doing smears, and so I might try just drawing some sort of abstract shape. I could even, like a while ago I did one where it was more structured face loops things. I might try doing something like that, but curvy, less rigid like this. So let's see how large of a space I have sort of to work with, and also doing it sort of like one all the way through and then coming back and then filling in the gap in between, so I end up with multiple things happening at once. I think that might be the direction I will ultimately go. I think that's a transitional sort of thing, coming back to some stuff. So first off, I need to figure out what sort of shape I want to do. It can be pretty abstracted. Let's just say something like that. Now let's concept out what thickening it up would look like. This also gives me the opportunity to twist things about a bit. At some point I might end up doing like a Mobius face loop deal. If you're at all familiar with what a Mobius strip is, it's a thing that has no front or back side. It's all one-sided. So now for the thickening, let's do this in ink. I'm going to now come through, just do the solid outlines, and use that as a reference point for additional things down the line. Let's scoot this over a little bit, but this is in frame. Now set aside some of these guys that seem like they were in better shape than others. Well, I think I Actually, the tip on that guy, so let's throw it over here. I was trying to see if it would function better. If it's over, under, that works. Okay. I think it generally understood that that's the direction, but I'm still going to mark it out a little bit thinner on that end of things. That's meant to be on top. So that's a baseline of sorts. Draw that out a bit. Let's see. I think the best course of action is just to, if I'm doing this quickly, might be have like one face and see if I can fit in a second one after the fact. So I think it's most interesting to sort of like have it resting, or even have it a little small guy. The small guy here. I like the idea of it being facing outwards. And then it sort of stretches through here and speeds up. Maybe settles over here, so if this is the outside, this would be that. Maybe it twists to the back side, and so this ends up being reversed and being solid over here. Then twist. So that means that as it turns here, it starts to twist to be forward. And it twists again, so conceptually it's face down here. But it's to be completely solid here. I don't know how much of this you can see as I'm sketching, but here's what it is. And it's back, side. So if it's twisting this way, means that it might actually be worthwhile to just sort of like sketch out where the nose ends up being. Okay, I'm gonna redo this sort of outline to express. Lower the music. Okay. Well, I'm running it off of this little tape player. Let me... Wait, I'm not doing... Hold on 1 second, let me mute this guy. I just had the. Oh, I gotta turn this off again. I had the. I think I just had the level too loud, and I was previewing it. The tape has inconsistent volumes on it a little bit. Let me know if it gets weird again, but I like having this visual here. And having the potential of the like audio or for playback stuff, you can see like the tape advance. Which one was it using? This guy? Yeah, this guy. I'm figuring out how best to utilize it. Oh, I got an emote now. An emote now. But I gotta refine it. I think I need to like put an outline around it or make it so there's a little bit of gray or something. How's the audio? Is the audio better now? I think I just needed to turn it down. This is a little bit confusing to look at, but it's a good reference point for me because I'm planning on having a face traveling along here, and this is illustrating the trajectory of it as just the sort of sides of the face at any given moment. I also suspect that since I'm not actively listening to the music, that means that when this tape ends on this side, and it'll click because it'll hit stop, or it'll automatically stop, that it's going to surprise me. So I'm trying to keep general track of that as I'm working, but still figuring things out. Does the picture itself look better? And also zoom in. No, Twitch isn't loading on your computer. Well, it looks better on my end. Twitch has been having issues. But because this has a zoom lens, I can move the camera further away, which is nice. I have a little bit more free space for my head. Also, this camera is the camera that I was using overhead, so it's a lot wider of an angle. Okay, so yeah, this sort of worked out. Wait, I can actually number these as I'm working because it's not middle out sort of deal. So that's number 1, 2, Not this way. I could potentially just crop it even closer. I'll leave it. I'll figure it out later. That tape is also a way for me to be like, oh, it's been 45 minutes or longer. Number 3. Oh, 4. I'm shifting these just because it's harder to see this back frame if I have more than 3 on top of it. There it is. Five. I think I'm gonna wait to do the bubble for a second. I really want to push this multiples thing, which means that I gotta speed this up a bit. As far as position and such is concerned. I want to make this more cartoonish with the motion, or more exaggerated. Let's see what the general feeling is like, if it's something that I need to refine more, or push further, or mess with in other ways. I don't know. Keep splitting up. Oh, 6. Now this front end is much easier. 7. There's a snap that I was expecting. And it did come. So this side isn't completely filled, so I gotta watch the. It's been 46 minutes. It's a way to keep track of time for myself. How long I've been working. This sort of calm down on this end. It's fun playing with these more abstracted bits, but it'll take a little bit longer. I'm curious what it'll end up looking like. Number 9. Averaging 5 to 6 minutes per still. These next couple are just going to be more abstracted because it's just these bubbles sort of settling and this front end condensing. Alright. Well, just checking the audio a little. 16. Let's go fill this in. Now let's start moving. Team. One more. And this lets me two. A lot of these are not more interesting, but interesting as stills. Exaggerated items, isolated moments and distorted time, simplified into black and white illustration. I'm into it, but I'm not sure that everybody is. Alright. Probably gonna have to do solid bits of filling in this animation using a different brush because this one's still acting up. No, I don't like it. There should be less of a change. 7. So next few I can continue on the same path. Let's not be. Let me trust this. 34, I believe. Yep. 34. Excuse me. Music starting to go over again. Fudge. I need to redo this one now. But now I got a reference point. I wasn't paying attention. Got distracted with the music. Scratch 34 and add a new frame. Six. Seven. think I might do 2 more. Hello. You can't just create new accounts. You responded oddly to me saying that you'd be banned and you created a new account, so it's gotta be... You can't do that. Anyway, time to fill stuff in. Brushes getting a little aged for me. needs to be filled solid as far as the bubbles are concerned, because I do not know what I was thinking all of an hour ago, maybe. Now we're getting to a little bit of a speedier spot. These are just solid blobs or circles, or white blobs. Okay. Your Twitch is working? Mine was just frozen for a sec, and I didn't notice. You're at the exciting part. Also, I don't know if you can see, but it wouldn't load on browser. Oh, that probably doesn't help. I think that I have a little bit fewer folks watching today because I've got a bunch, like most, I think, of what people catch is probably my Instagram story, and I've just been sharing people using the alphabet loops thing. And then also just other issues happening. And so it's sort of like buried in there right now. Also, that I don't know if you can see back in the chat, but that person created a second account, and so I put a ban on that one as well. So far, the only thing I was sort of expecting people to use naughty words to curse with it almost immediately, but maybe people aren't tagging me in that. But someone said hell yeah, and that was the extent of it. But before sharing them, it's not a very easy thing to read the letters when they're in succession, so I have to like pause it a bunch of times and make sure that people aren't saying just like poop or something. But also, I think it would be kind of funny. If someone just said like poop or wrote like turd. I have to flip the tape. I meant with the letters, with the alphabet loops. I had a few people be like, congrats, you finished it, but I sort of felt like I'm just doing the same amount of work. It's just in a cohesive thing. So it didn't feel like I was done with it. It just felt like, okay. But as far as interactivity, I think it's a good thing to have all those GIF stickers. People like something that they can use. Hi, thanks for the subscription. I don't know if I have any sort of notification, but now you get the blockhead guy. Got an emote. People say emote or emote. I'm learning about different ways of monetizing things, because as soon as I got affiliate, it was like, here's 30 additional things you can use. I was overwhelmed because I only really looked into that at like midnight last night. And I got distracted with various things. And then I was trying to do the setup. You got the first, so... oh, now that you're on desktop, can you tell the difference in the quality of the video? I can tell it when I do like a direct comparison. The other one wasn't bad, it just wasn't as clear as this. And I have a prime lens that gets like a little bit nicer of a feed on it, but since it's a prime lens, I can't zoom in or out. Which it also isn't a wide-angle prime lens, so it's like a 35 or something. But yeah, you get the emote. Let's see, default one going. No, I got the lips back in here, so now I get to. It doesn't look worse. It just is a. Now it's using a mirrorless camera that I got, which also means that I can dedicate the older Logitech webcam. I can use that for this guy. Still refining things, but I spent a while last night trying to figure out how best to record the tape deck, and ended up, like, I tried putting it on some green paper. My mom gave me like a softbox thing for Christmas, but the light is too close in proximity to it, and it's a pretty reflective material, the tape deck itself, because it's plastic, and so the light was just glaring on it. And so what I ended up doing is just putting it on a piece of white paper and doing a little bit of a chroma key, or not chroma key, like value key. And so the white paper is removed. It's not perfect because it's a reflective thing that has like metal bits, so if I move it off of the white paper backing, you can see that it doesn't do a super clean keying of the tape deck. But ideally what I want to do is like just create a bunch of like simple loop audio things, have them saved to the tapes, and then I can switch them out, and there's sort of a, I don't know, a different physicality and identity with it. And you can see the passage of time on the tape itself. The video quality isn't like absurdly better, but it is better. On mobile it's negatable, but on desktop, and it also aids with uploading it to YouTube, it looks just a bit crisper. Which isn't crazy necessary for the artwork that I'm doing. But it also has a little bit less distortion. This camera that now I've switched over to it being the camera facing me, it has a pretty wide angle. And so with it being closer up on the paper itself, especially since it's set against a grid and it's a block in and of itself, it's something that I don't notice until I compare it, but it's pretty warped. Because that camera was like maybe yay high off of the paper, just as close as I could get it without cropping into the shot this direction. But because it was a closer proximity, it had a greater distortion of the image. Wow. You got bits. I don't know exactly how everything functions in Twitch. I know that it's something to learn. Right now I understand that I can do subscriptions and ad-based revenue at some point, but to get the partner channel points. I don't interact with Twitch enough. Oh, you get them by watching. Okay. Well, you've been watching more than anyone else, I think. Other than maybe that one person. Are you thinking of streaming at some point again, or are you working on things or stuff? Points every 5 minutes. Well, I do stream for a long time, so if you just let it run, you can get a lot of channel points. Streaming is something you get back into, could coordinate more of stuff. Yeah, it's a decent crop of things, but for me it's an accountability sort of bit. But I just don't know, like there's not, you've talked about it before, there's not too much of like, it's just like art. There is art on Twitch, but it's not just isolated things. It's largely within the context of video game culture and stuff like that. And so I was watching things, a couple videos that was like, what to do when you're affiliate, and it's like, you make emotes. And I was like, cool. What else is like, what's the advantage or what happens with it? Or like, and they're like, make sure you want to build your audience in this way. And I was like, and one of the suggestions was like, find streamers that do things that you enjoy. And I was like, whenever I've looked at artwork stuff, it's not as much my cup of tea. And so I was trying to figure out whatever things here and there. Or how to build some bit of community that's isolated in this space. I'm thinking of doing another thing where I do the blind contour drawings. Because that got people on Instagram engaged, and it's a way to invite people and treat it as something that I don't feel super comfortable like creating a stream of stuff and then using other people's spaces and then uploading it anywhere. And so it would be just a like, hey, if you want to see this happening, you gotta go over to Twitch for it. But I haven't figured out the specifics of what sort of timeline I'd want to give And when I was doing those before, I gave like a limitation on time because Instagram was still a 1 hour maximum for how long you could stream continuously, and so I had to like try and draw one a minute or so when I was compiling a bunch of those, but it could turn into like a marathon deal if I did it on Twitch. Just blind contours for hours, which isn't the worst, but I want to refine it a little bit before I just put it out there into the open. Also doing a little bit more to promote the fact that I actually have these things on different platforms. I'm planning on doing it, and I think it will pull some people over that would be hesitant otherwise, especially when I don't know what I'm doing daily. Some planning, which it's not my favorite to plan things out in that sort of way, but I think it's a practical thing. And it gets people's faces in there. And then I'm like, if you want to watch it, you actually have to watch it as it's happening. People see their face and enjoy it. I also need to see what sort of like slideshow stuff I can set up so that I don't have to be constantly loading up new images. It's not the worst, but see if there's a smoother way to do it. That's the end of the tape. That's in its own way like a weird timer. Might ultimately see if I have a better way of interfacing with my audio and monitor to use the tiny little mixer that I have. But for that, I might need a better mic or a more appropriate mic for sort of picking up just general audio. Could use a condenser mic, but then it's just more money thrown into it, and I need to keep on with what I'm doing before I buy more expensive equipment. With a little capture card thing, though, I can do a video game stream. I can do Animal Crossing at some point, or other things as well. I also think for if I'm doing the blind contour deal that I need to take a minute, like a day or two after having the alphabet loops thing running before I try and fill that out. Ah, I started a new Red Dead. Is this are you doing it PC? Is it your first one? Or no? I remember you doing, like, you did a second run where you were. That's cool. Are you gonna do it like an evil run or a good run? Nice. That's so much easier. Second time through, I didn't do like outright evil, but I did like I robbed trains and stuff here and there because I was trying to unlock all the trinkets and stuff. And you can like search and get lucky raiding abandoned homes and stuff, or you just go on a train and get like a bunch of stuff, all the specific jewelry you need for certain trinkets. It's also fun seeing like how long you just last, where it gets like mundane once you spent enough time just like trying to fend off the marshals or whatever. I did one and then like I just kept searching for stuff. And they kept coming and it was pretty easy to just kill all the bounty hunters or things. I mostly got annoyed when I'd try to go hunting and then like a bounty hunter would show up. I did a mix the first time, but second time I was fixated on unlocking all of the pouches or whatever, and it's very helpful to have that like ultimate pouch that can hold like 99 of most things, so you don't have to get rid of stuff in the same way, except for cigarettes. Cigarettes still like pile up if you open up one of the like premium cigarette things, trying to get those cards and such. Still have to finish Hades. I haven't played that in a few days. I'm still trying to get those purple windflowers and Animal Crossing. Just not coming. I tried watching a different thing that was a guy saying like, here's how you do it and get a higher chance, but still not getting it. I just started checking in on the Animal Crossing on the daily. I think I unlocked all the stuff for building snowmen or snow people. Snow boys? I forget. I don't know the last time I opened up Red Dead, but anytime that I have after a while I get tripped up because I assume the controls are similar to other games. I still need to play the DLC of Breath of the Wild. I also need to play the games. The last thing that I haven't gotten past when it's a Minotaur and another dude. Last thing I unlocked was like the second life save. Like, you get the first one where you die once, and you come back, but now I have it twice. Still haven't found the, like, artifact or whatever thing that you were talking about that lets you find, like, food items, health items, in barrels and things. I forget what the last one I got of those was. It might have been from Sisyphus or something. I've gotten a number from some of the gods of those. I thought I got, maybe I didn't give it to the boulder dude. Or maybe I have, I don't know. I thought I gave him a thing. That's Sisyphus. Maybe I gave it to a different guy. And I was like, maybe this will be it, and it wasn't. I could look it up, but I also like not looking it up because I feel like once I beat the game, it's not going to be like, I want to play this more. Last PS4 game I was playing was Tony Hawk, trying to like unlock some bits of stuff. And playing with my friend online. And it made me realize that in that game, I'm very much a vert sort of person. Like if I get to having a pool or something where I can skate around, then I'm like, I'm good. You do some vert specials, revert, connect them with a manual, and then grind until you lose more balance there, hop off, do a manual for a while. Then you get a couple 100,000 points. Easy. When I was looking at the combo challenge or combo mambo, I forget what it's called in the game, but you have whoever gets to the combo amount first wins the round. You could go up to like 100 million or something, and I guess you can turn on like perfect balance stuff, but I can't imagine the specifics of combining things to get that high a score. When I turn on my PS4, it's like not enough disk space to download this thing that you requested months ago. It's like, I know, and it just gives me a bunch of those notifications over and over again. That's not cool. PlayStation 4. I wonder how long it'll be until they stop supporting PlayStation 4 or whatever, because they stopped with Xbox sometime not terribly long ago. Like Xbox Live, the first one. Okay, done with filling. Let's get this somewhat precarious stack of stills and just set it over here where I have a little bit more control of it. And reverse these guys. I'm thinking out loud of the fact that I was like, it's annoying to adjust this camera's position because it's a little bit finicky. But I was like, or I can just zoom in and move the actual thing. So I might do that when I'm scanning so that I get a decent quality now that this camera has a zoom lens on it. That's an actual zoom, physical zoom, as opposed to a digital. I can zoom in on it, crop it in, and then have a time-lapse version of it that's more physical. Because when it's time-lapse on this section, it's interesting to see the physical component. So you can see both piles, so you see a little bit more of how the actual mechanics of the animation are functioning. And it hints at that sort of process bit. But if I'm just going for a straightforward, like, good, decent visual, I can just straight up center this and zoom in a bit. So move that out the way. Let's go just a little bit wider. Okay, and let's check that way. It's hard to tell with this. Okay, now let's connect the scanner. Actually connect the scanner. Brightening that up just a little bit. And 600, and this is that one, this is going to... I love it. Scan. because I realized when I was testing some stuff out of it that because this camera has a wider angle to it, it means that it cuts down and you can like see part of my pants. And then if I turn to this side and I lean over, you can see a little like side back as my shirt pops up a bit. I'm excited to see what this one ends up looking like. Because this animation that I'm doing right now has elements that I messed around with a little bit with the letters, but not so explicitly. And I want to see how it looks in just a more sort of abstracted way. Not 100% sure what the pacing will be for once it returns back to the starting point. Because once it's back to the starting point, it has a little bit of a forced motion to it, because I didn't know exactly how I wanted to move the face around and the preliminary aspects of it. And so I'll see. I also might try doing a time offset on this. Because when I did something similar to this that was more angular in the past, the idea was it was advantageous to just cut it up into sections, and I was effectively only doing 13 ultimate, or I was doing 13 frames or something and just adding elements, but for 15 I think, from one position to the next, but there were like 5 positions, which means it was 70 frames ultimately if you were to have isolated the sections. With this one, going straight forward, it's 42, but I might be able to double it up. But I don't know if the pacing is such that it'll work, because I wasn't doing this with that sort of movement in mind. I'll find out in like 10 minutes when I finish scanning and pull everything in. You can see where I did not a great job cutting. Just about halfway done scanning. I got a slight sore inside my tongue, which means when I say scanning, I sort of do a I angle my tongue to avoid hitting it, which makes me sound a little bit more Sally Fields. Sally, not Sally, that's a Sally Fields. There's a little bit of like a, feels like she's holding on to her bottom teeth a little bit. Sally Fields, Sally. I think that's, sorry. It's what to do, but it's just me on screen but saying Sally Fields over and over again. laundry. Getting closer. Spinning, spinning. Yeah. Muting this mic for just a sec. I think the tape is getting close to the end of it. I think it has like one 5-minute song left or something. For 1 minute selection of a loop running and running. Not so much on what this is of having trace loops specific stuff, but I like the idea of doing like a super lo-fi Twitch stream that's like all VHS cameras. Which you can do. You can have whatever input you'd like. Make it so the output is only like 480. But that's something that I don't have the time or energy to do right now. But I do think it might actually attract more people. But I would get burnt out on it that much faster. It's not a bad idea for someone to do like specifically mid-90s or something. Or someone who like does exclusively N64 or PS1 games or something. But has everything in that aesthetic. And actually, like you can have the screen be decent quality for the output, but have like all the video, all the live footage of people interacting be utilizing VHS stuff. It's a lot of work, and it's something that I'd be willing to do like one of. I also don't have a... The oldest system that I have is Xbox. And for Xbox, it would have to be like a mini DV cameras or something. Someone who like exclusively plays Halo 1. Halo 1 LAN party. Okay. Let's open up these guys, and where is it? Repeat right here. Excuse me. Okay. 0. This is 0, 0. Move these guys over here. Info. Wrong thing. I always do that. Rename 42 items. Check that these are in order. Seems to be. Okay, let's zoom out here. So you see a bit more of everything. And let's get a little bit of some lag here and there. But anyway, Photoshop is open. Close out of that. Last thing I was doing in Photoshop was making the emote. Desktop, state modified, live designs, put these in order, grab all those guys, and give it a minute. You got the last one out? Yep. Check the playback on tape. I think the tape's getting close to being done. I want to see how these bubbles work. I get to crop this down in a different way. I do like the idea of someone doing like purely retro gaming. It's not for me, can't keep it up, and I'm not the personality for it, but creating that entire aesthetic. It's probably comparable in price to compiling all the things necessary for it, as it is to getting the things for contemporary equipment. But it might be, I don't know if it's easier or more difficult. Depends. Hair's still getting longer. It's still doing that. It takes a while to get around in Red Dead. Oh, it's done. Okay. I do not know. Create frame animation, make frames from layers. It was a while before I realized you can like camp and then do fast travel, at least in Red Dead 1. Reverse frames, make this 0.1. Okay, it only goes about this far over. Actually, this is probably about as high up as it gets as well. Oh, wait, no, it gets further over. That's as far as it gets. Let me go ahead and clean this one up. It's accidental marks. I'm not sure why that one has so much more than the others. And this is about how far over it gets on this edge. How far down does it get? Right about there. So that's my general cropping. Put this down. Yeah, this is made to. I've been scanning these so that I can have them at 4K ultimately, but I do not need that. I like the pacing on this. Okay, let's throw curves on top here. Darken that, and then come in and make this 0.06. Blow it out. Let's make this just 1080. Save it as an animated GIF. Relatively small. Save. Did I keep this as a... I did not. Desktop. Date modified. Live design. 0111. It's easier than typing it in. Just grab that. Tone.gif. And then right folder. Save it out. Give it a moment. Turn off that window capture. Switch out this image. Sounds like this stopped. So I could deal with this, with the little dots disappearing a little bit faster. Did I miss a... I don't think I missed a line. But there it is. is like a transition out of doing all the letters. It's in the same realm, but not exactly. I think if I'm doing these dots for future things, I might have them last for less amount of time, but aesthetically it's got a thing to it. It sort of lets it continue on and settle. Ooh. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to go through spiel. If you want to get this design or other designs on shirts, you can go to traceloops.com/store. If you are not shipping to the US and want to ship internationally, you can contact me to resolve those issues by emailing me traceloops@traceloops.com. If you want to watch this live stream in full or other live streams in full, you can see those and some other long form and some other short form videos at youtube.com/traceloops, which I was spelling incorrectly there. Traceloops. You can follow me on Instagram. Same username there, or TikTok. I think, yeah. So far I haven't had enough rapid chats happening to push it up to the tape deck, but yeah, so this is about a 3-hour stream. I started a little bit late into stuff, but yeah. If you got any questions or anything, feel free to throw them out. Those links are pretty much up. Now it's gonna, push it up. I think they last like 30 seconds. I could have the tape deck on top. You know what? Let me see what that, so I prefer what that looks like. Oh, there you can start to see the fact that it's a value key or Luma key, because you can see through and see part of your chat popping through where it's the white highlights. But if I throw it back underneath chat, it would just be on top of it. I still need to resolve some things for the formatting and stuff, but figuring it out and getting better with some things. Yeah, spiel's there. Thanks for watching. Stop recording.